Hey guys. Okay, so tonight I'm going to show you how to do my sweet Cinn sugar jar. To my right is my pink sugar jar, and this is the jar. This is a new item that I have listed on Etsy, but I created this about I think 3 years ago in the summertime. Yeah, 3 summers ago. I created this, and 9 love herbs go into here. So this is for relationships, and you can use it for lust as well also. So a lot of you ask me what it looks like, and this is it. It doesn't have any herbs in it now or anything like that, and I don't put any oils in it because it's the sugar. When you add oils inside of it, it starts getting really clumpy, and then it gets thick and stiff, and that can stop a lot of what you're pushing forward for. You want to sweeten this man or this woman, and if it gets really clumpy and thick, it'll actually put things on pause a bit, you know, for the work especially. So I don't put any oils into that. And to my left is my sweet Cinn sugar jar. Okay, so I think about 6 years ago, about 6 years ago, one of my clients, she has a situation with her husband. He all of a sudden he became really cheap, like out of nowhere, and it just came out of nowhere. He stopped buying roses, he stopped giving her money, and it was basically her having to take care of everything. Yes, he still took care of bills, but when it came to giving her certain things, he became one of the cheapest men on earth. And she needed a jar. She didn't want a typical sugar jar. She didn't want the honey jar. So this was something that I had came up with to help her with the situation. Okay, on top of it is this is agar's wood. This is actually an abalone shell. This is a mini abalone shell here, and I'm gonna burn some agar's wood on top of it. You call it agar's wood, and it's also aloes wood. It's good for love. It's good for seduction. It's good for it helps you to attract fortune. It's good and anything dealing with sex magic. So because this jar is going to be dealing with lust, love, and money, I felt like this was a good and you can use it as an incense. Some people put in their into their oils as well. I do place some in some of my oils, and all you have to do is just light the tip of it. And you know, when you're going to be creating certain things in certain jars, you can use these. It won't stay lit too long, but it'll have a good scent to it. Okay, and it'll just stay there. It'll probably go out. It doesn't stay too long. Just like, just like the Palo Santo, it goes out pretty quick. But anyway, let's discuss the jar. Okay, so in my sweet Cinn jar, it is for sex. It is for love. It is for money. Okay, it's gonna help you. If you have a really cheap man, you should. This is a jar that you're gonna be creating. This is something that you should be considering. Okay, and if he has suddenly became really cheap, this is something that you want to do. So in here, I have cinnamon sugar. I also have brown sugar, and then I have coffee. Yes. So the cinnamon for money, for love, sex, it heats up things. Okay, and then I have the brown sugar because I needed to add in something else into here, and I didn't really want to add in white sugar, so I felt like the brown sugar was something good to add in here. It's really good and sweet. And then I added the coffee in because coffee is a stimulant for the mind. And I need to get into this man's head. I need to ground him in a way, no pun intended, because he has turned very cheap. And the coffee grounds is going to help with this sugar, along with the other herbs that I'm going to use, to keep him on track, to get him back to where he belongs to, as far as when spending money on her, spending money on you. And guys, you can create something like this if you have a woman that does not like to pay for anything. She wants you to pay for everything, dinners, she no longer buys her own shoes. You have to do it. Bags, like hair, nails, everything she has she wants you to do it, and she doesn't want to pay for nothing. And you know, I believe some relationships, when it comes to certain things, it should be 50-50. And I just, well, me personally, I just don't believe that a man should be paying for everything, and I don't believe that a woman should be paying for anything, because there's a lot of men out there that use women too to pay for everything. And then, you know, vice versa, the women do the same thing. But this jar is mainly gonna, the goal of this jar is to get your man that was doing everything for you back on track. Because if you allow a man to be cheap, he will be cheap with everything in the relationship. He's going to be cheap with sex. He's going to be cheap with love. Don't expect to get anything nice for Christmas, for your birthday, because you have allowed a cheap man to brew into your relationship. And once he has those ways and his standards are, you know what, she allows it, she accepts it, that he doesn't even want to put any gas in your car that he drives, then you have a problem. Okay? So if he's cheap from the get-go, automatically, as soon as you meet him and you allow him to continue 4, 5, 10 years down the road cheap, that's a problem that you created. Okay? You allowed him to be cheap, and he's going to stay cheap. But if you want to cut that shit out, and you want to, you know, you want him to take care of you, because I do believe also that a man should take care of his woman, and taking care of her in all different sorts of ways, you know, when it comes to the relationship, sexually, you know, taking care of her, you know, financially, physically, making sure she looks good as well. So, you know, I think a man should do that. And women, you need to take care of your men as well. I'm in no way am I saying that you know you should go out and buy all types of things for him and do. No, I'm not saying that at all, because you know a lot of you women, that's something that you want to do. You have men that sit at home, they do nothing all day, and you know they just spend your money, and that's something that you allow and you accept. Then you know, go ahead. And this is not even about that. But anyway, in this jar, I'm going to show you how to create more sex and how to get more money from this man, okay? So you see the things that I have in there already. I showed you guys. So it's cinnamon sugar. And the cinnamon sugar is going to create, if you don't have brown sugar and you want to just use cinnamon sugar, that is good to do. You could use the cinnamon sugar, and then of course you want to also use you want to also put the coffee in there. I have this is instant coffee that I have in there. It's grounded, and every time I add the coffee into it, it really helps out with the spell. People use coffee for different things. Coffee, I have also used coffee for my visions, and it helps me with my readings, and it also is good to remove curses and jinxes. People use it for all different types of things, and I have used it for different things as well. But I find when I add it into my sugar jars that my clients, they get really good reactions. And sugar is going to move along faster than the honey. The honey will give you the best results in the end when they start to move, but a sugar jar is going to start moving along. If you work this jar every day, putting your intent, your prayer, and doing it right as well, you want to make sure you add the right things to it. Now, this jar, you can do it 2 ways. You can create it basically for sex and money, or you can create it for just money. The sugar alone in here, with the brown sugar, the cinnamon, and the coffee, is a starter for you to add in the rest of your herbs. So what I'm going to add in here is I'm going to add ginger root, and ginger root is good for sex. Ginger root is good for money. It speeds things up. It adds heat, lust. I'm also going to add cinnamon leaves. So I'm going to start adding in the stuff for you guys to see. And I'm also going to add Mexican cinnamon. Now I really like the Mexican cinnamon. It's much softer, and you could crush it up compared to the regular cinnamon sticks. I really like it. So this is the cinnamon leaves. You could get these in your supermarket. I mean, this is where I get a lot of my fresh herbs, at the supermarket. And the cinnamon leaves, you're gonna take these and you're gonna crush them. You're gonna put them right into here. And this is the Mexican cinnamon. It's really soft. You can get this in the supermarket. And just crush it up and put it in there. To me, this is the best cinnamon, because it just breaks apart so easily. And it smells real good too. When I mix this in with the herbs and stuff like that, it gives it a real good smell. I mean, to me, cinnamon smells good, but I like the way this one smells. Okay, so, and then I have to add the ginger root. If you don't have ginger root, you can add the crystallized ginger as well. And this is what that looks like. Okay, so this is gonna help with, like I said, with sex, and this is gonna help with money. Now, you need, in order for you to go through with this spell, you need a dollar bill from this man. You need some kind of money. So if he's a really cheap man, or she's really cheap, maybe you can just, you know, ask for change. You give him 4 quarters, but you need some money. And I wrote on mine already with a red pen. You need some money. They need to voluntarily give you this money. Now, one of my clients, her husband plays basketball a lot, so he always keeps money in his shoe, and she was able to get a sweaty dollar bill. That was even better, sweat all over it. And she asked him for some money, and you know, he was like, yeah, sure, here you go, no problem. Now, if he really is really cheap with a dollar bill given to you, then I mean, I don't know what to tell you. He needs to willingly give you some money, willingly. And you're going to get that dollar bill, you're going to write it out. It is the petition that you're going to use. You're going to write down what you want from this relationship. You want that money, everything that you want, you're going to write down on that bill. You're going to write it straight down, and then you're going to place it right in the middle. Right in the middle. It's all the way in between there. Then what I'm going to do also, I'm going to add, you can either add a small piece of lotus stone, or you can add the food, you know, the magnetic feed. And I'm going to place 2 in there. 2 is good for love, and 1 is good for money, but this jar is going to give you both of everything. And then I'm going to add a little bit of magnetic sand in between the middle. Now, you need some hair, or you need some fingernails. And to me, fingernails is the easiest thing that you can get. You just tell him that you want to give him a manicure, and that's it. You know, hey babe, let me give you a manicure, and you save those fingernails. I mean, I don't know how else you can get it. If he's bald and he doesn't have any hair, go into the bathroom, you know, looking for the razors, and you can get some hair out of there as well. I mean, I know it's still in DNA, but still, you know. Or you can just go into his garbage, his bathroom garbage, and just take some a piece of tissue, you know, or something. I mean, something with his DNA on it. You can wipe some sweat and place it on tissue, and you need something of his to go into here. This is what you need of his. Okay, so now moving on, I'm gonna add some skull cap in here. The skull cap is good to help attract money. So whenever you're going to use skull cap, you want to add some money with this. So of course there's a dollar bill in there ready, and I'm going to add that in there. Now the skull cap is going to be in there. Ladies, what you can do, you can add for the lust, for the sex, for the passion. I'm trying not to add a lot of stuff in here, even though I have so much things I wish I could put in here, but I still need to shake this jar up. These are cardamom pops. These are good for sexual attraction, for lust, to heat things up in the relationship. If you want to have a relationship with someone, no strings attached, you can add some cardamoms in there. Okay? I'm going to add 5 finger grafts because the favor is going to need to be done. You need him to give you these things. And when you ask for something, you want him to give it to you with no problem. So you need to add the 5 finger grafts in there. Now, if you want more sex, then you add in a bit of catnip. Okay? And men, gay men, you can add in safflowers. Let me see if I have any safflower here. You're gonna add orris root for the men, because orris root helps women attract men. So for gay men, if you want to, you know, if you have a man and he's really cheap, you add that in. So you add safflower. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Or, you know, people call it false saffron. So that's the safflower. And then you're gonna add some Samson roots. Do I have that? Yeah, I do. Okay. You'll add some of this in there. And orris root. This is orris root. So those 3 herbs for men that have a cheap man, you add those in there. That'll help you with the sex. And then you add in, you know, everything else that I'm going to show you to add in. So you're going to add in the 5-finger grass. And then you're going to add in the skull cap for the money. Now, ladies, what you can do is add in the Jezebel root. One of my she emailed me the other day. I couldn't reply to her because she left a message to me through Google Plus, and I didn't know how to check the messages, but it just popped up in my YouTube feed under messages. But you know, you emailed me the other day and you asked me what you can do for a man that's really cheap, and you know, you want to get more money. This is the jar that you're going to create, and you're going to add in that skull cap, and then you're going to add in some Jezebel root. Jezebel helps. I mean, prostitutes used to use it to get money, but it helps you to attract men with money, wealthy men. So if you're a stripper, if you're a bartender, you can use it. So, I mean, it's not really intended for the prostitutes, but prostitutes used to use it. So, because I'm making this sweet Cinn jar, and you know, it's for a woman, this is the stuff that is going to go in there. I'm going to add this in there. Men, you don't have to add Jezebel in there. You can add in the skull cap, and you can stick with the cardamom, and you can also add in some 5-finger grass with it. I'm trying to stick with as less herbs as possible, but I think this will pretty much be it that I'm adding in here. So everything is in there now. You have to make sure that you add in those fingernails as well also. I'm going to shake and mix everything into here. And then what I'm going to do after I, you know, shake and mix everything into here, this is my sweet Cinn oil. I'm going to rub it all over the jar. And then a candle is going to be placed on top of it. Now, depending on who you're making this jar for, you can use different oils. Okay, so if it's a man that you really don't want to be in a relationship with, but you still want money from him, then you won't use a typical oil, you know, just my sweet Cinn oil. You're going to use the no strings attached, or you can use the friends with benefits. So you'll combine it with both. And I'm going to get a candle, and I'm going to show you guys how to set everything up. Besides having, you know, some incense burning and some incense going for love, and, you know, if you're burning aloes wood, you want to set it up really nice. So I'm going to show you how to set it up. Okay, so I set everything up, and I'm going to show you guys what I have on there. When you create a jar, a honey jar, a sugar jar, or any type of magic work, you know, that you're creating for love, it's not as simple as just lighting it and just leaving it unattended and leaving it alone. Magic is just not all about lighting a candle. It honestly isn't. There's a lot more that goes into it, and you have to put yourself into the work. You have to put your intent all over it. Every time you work this jar, your words, your prayers, everything that you want. Remember, you're trying to sweeten this man to giving you more money. Okay? So stay on top of him. Work him. When you have sex with him, ride him. You stay on top of him. This is how you're going to get everything that you need from him. Always staying on top of him. Okay? There's no kind of controlling herbs into this, because I don't want to push. With what I noticed with certain spell work and sugar jars, when you use too much of a controlling element, the person feels they get agitated quickly. and they feel in a way like they're forced to do it. Yes, I could easily have put licorice in here, and or master of the woods. I could easily have put some cupid berries as well. Cupid berries is good to control and love and lust. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to sweeten him to the idea of doing these things for his woman. So the skull cap, giving her gifts. The cardamom, sex, passion, love. Just giving back those memories of what things used to be and how they should be now. What I added in at the bottom here was there's hibiscus, there's the cinnamon, there's Damiana, patchouli, and what else I have here. And then I have some skullcap down there. And on top of the candle is the cinnamon, well, the jar. If you're creating it for a man, you know, for your man, it's the cinnamon jar. And if you're creating it for your woman, it's the cinnamon jar. Okay? But all of it together is a sweet scent. And you creating love and passion, and you want some money out of it as well. You know, in no way it makes you a prostitute if you use the Jezebel at all. You know, it's your man. It's your man. You know, you're in a relationship with this man. I mean, and for those of you that are not in a relationship, you're welcome to do it as well. We're all grown. We're all adults. And, you know, when you're working with magic, you know, put a little bit more into it. Don't think that, you know, I'll light a candle and magic is going to appear. No, it is. If that was the case, everybody would be practicing magic. If you can just light a candle and results can happen. You have to work it. You have to put everything that you want all the time into your spells. You have to, especially for love. You have to stay on top of them. You know, sweet talks, music, all of that. I'm going to put this on my Instagram channel, and, you know, then I could put whatever kind of music I want to play, and I'll show you guys what type of music I would play for something like this. And, you know, I would working this for a client, I would switch it up. So I would play different types of music into that will role play into getting her the things that she wants. She wants him to stop being cheap. She wants to sweeten him to giving her back roses again, taking her out to dinner, and you know, her not having to pay. When you lower your standards, a man will take you directly to the bottom. That is what he will do. And especially if he's a man that no longer wants to take care of you, he will speed you to the bottom. He will not give you anything. So you cannot set your standards low ever. You make sure that you have the highest standards, because if he wants to keep you, he's going to do everything possible to keep you in this relationship, to keep you happy. Even though if you're making more money than him, he's going to buy you the best of everything. And, you know, sometimes having a cheap man in a relationship is just dead weight. It honestly is. Like, what can a man that cannot provide for himself do for a woman? What can he do for the relationship? So when you make your jars and you know, put everything that you want in there, the herbs that feel right to you, make sure it feels right as well. If you put an herb in there and it just doesn't feel right, don't put it in. Take it out. You know, mix your oils together good as well also. If you're making your own oils, make sure that you're adding in the correct herbs to blend properly with the spell that you're trying to achieve. And in achieving a spell to sweeten a man for love and for money, you want to work on this every single day. This is when the moon is in waxing, work on this moon. As soon as the new moon arrives, you start this project, you start making it, and you work it. You work it for 2 weeks straight. Now, when the moon changes and it's no longer waxing and is into waning, then you can work it on dealing with the planetary days and hours. And this spell also is going to help to sweeten your man to the idea of having money and having it around and giving it to you and spending it on you. So you want to stick to that. Don't start throwing a bunch of different herbs in here that are not going to make sense. The ginger root, and the cinnamon sticks, and then, you know, I added the skull cap because the skull cap is going to help with money, the cardamom with lust. You need this passion. You need him. You need to keep him where he belongs. So sexually, he will stay where he belongs, and financially, he will keep taking money out of his pocket to make sure that you have everything that you want. He will stay sweet with you, money wise. Okay, so it's a 2-in-1. All right. So work your jar, pray. You know, you want to caress this spell. You don't want to just light a candle and walk away from it and just say, oh, may he give me his money. No, you want to get real seductive with your words, because when you talk to him and you ask him for certain things, your words, the way you look at him, you're stimulating his mind. You have to be able to get what you want when you want, and when you ask him for it, that's when you want it. Okay, you need some money for something, you know, hey baby, can I have some money tonight? You know, I'm gonna go out with the girls, $200. He knows you don't need $200, but just the way you ask him for it, and the way you look at him, and, you know, slightly touch his shoulder, your words are making love to his mind. You are going to seduce his brain. You are caressing him with your words. So you want to sweet talk him when you ask him for something. You want him to be memorized when you talk to him. You want to seduce him every single time with your words. And this, I guarantee you, when you start this sugar jar, and, you know, you're gearing towards, even if it's a goal of getting a certain thing from a man, let's just say he's not even your boyfriend, and you want to, I mean, you know, he's just a friends with benefits type of situation. Once you start working this jar, he's gonna look forward to just wanting to speak to you all the time, because your words and the way you talk to him, it's just stimulating him non-stop. That's what you're going to do. So you're going to have a lot of times where you're just spending time on the phone with him. He's going to want to hear you. Your words are controlling his thoughts. Everything you say, you know, it's going to stick to him. So when you light this candle, you want to do the same thing. You want to stimulate it. You want to caress it in a way where, you know, when you speak to it and you play your music and you get really into lighting your candle and you're in a mode and you just cannot get out of it, that's how he's going to start feeling. Your words, you have to use your words. This is how you're going to get things. This is how you're going to basically mind fuck him into giving you everything that you want. And I can guarantee you, every single one of you women out here that make this jar are going to get the results that you want if you do it the right way. Do not just light the candle. Magic is not about that. It's just, you can't just light it and just expect it to work. No. You have to put yourself all in it. And the same way that you put yourself into it, even if you spend 15 minutes when you light the candle, you know, and oiling it, everything that you're doing to get to lighting the candle, and your words and the sweet prayers that you're going to say to it, that's something that you're going to say to him as well. Mind fuck the candle too. In order for you to get the things that you want, you have to. You have to do things a certain way in order to get your results. And a lot of times, you know, you don't know how to go about things, especially if this is the first time that you're doing candle magic, the first time that you're even creating a jar. You want to control his mind with thoughts of you and your words and giving you everything. You are going to get sex, pleasure, love, whatever you're looking for, and you're also going to get something in return out of it. Because I know a lot of you women, sometimes that's just your goal. to get certain things. So I really hope that you guys understand, you know, why I created this jar and why I blended in the herbs and the sugars and even the coffee. Because I want to mentally stimulate him with passion and with my words alone. So when I ask for something, I can get it with no problem. And after a while, you will start gaining things without even asking for them. And this is when you will know that you're getting your results. So work it, work your magic, work all of that into it. You know, you may not even have to do anything sexual. And that's when you know that you're good. Because you know automatically, you know what? I manipulated him with my words. And your thoughts alone, when you put your intent into your magic, is going to help you to create and intensify so much energy that every single time you work this man or work this woman, you're going to see results hitting them harder and harder and harder. So check out my Instagram, because I'm going to make a video right after this for Instagram. I'll probably post it on my Facebook as well. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I did enjoy speaking to you guys and making this video. And subscribe if you like it. Like if you like it. And stay blessed.